My name is Qu Zhang. Welcome to my presentation of influences. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the main content of my presentation. Firstly, I'm going to talk about how this work influences me, and I will divide it into two parts, which is visual motivation and inspiration in selection of work content, worldview.
Well, the reason why I divide it into two parts is I think influence is a process. At the beginning, I start to make my own work. I will appreciate other practitioners' work. I will influence by their color palette, forms of visual expression, and then make visual experiment. Finally, find my own painting style. And after that, I may want to make a real project, so the inspiration came by all the movies, books I've seen, so that is why. And finally, I will talk about how this artist's works connections to my own work.
Firstly, I'd like to talk about David Hinton, Seattle artist specializing in theatric and still life scenes, exploring the space between projection, facade, and reality of scenes. Known as an off-campus painting artist with a glass plate paint transfer and a curt monochrome painting technique. As we can see from this work, we can see a good mix of rich colors and a mix of painting and courage. And we can see the object is about to jump out of the picture. And I really like the multiple texture in his paintings. That is why I always leave the texture of the brush in the painting process every time. I think it will make my picture, my work more vivid. This is my work in 2021. It shows how I was influenced by his mix of painting and courage, and learning how to use brush texture. And the next one I will talk about Reinhard Botman, feminist avant-garde artist. The theme of her work is always the eroticism, sexuality, violence, and eros. And the work includes color drawing, photography, performers, and objects in a variety of forms. So I always use a lot of forms to express my own work. It is her work opposite. In her work, we can see a new aesthetic is used to represent the female body. I think he used a strong imagery to present our eyes, and his whole work always changes the stereotypical roles assigned by society.
And she uses physical installations and photography to convey her ideas about painting and her views on events. Not just a paper painting of campus, to convey her ideas.
With my work in 2020, it shows how I was influenced by her visual expression and making human installation of my paintings and presenting it through photography. Sometimes, paper is all it can always express my ideas so well. So I think photography and other forms can express my ideas more great. It's Cécile Perron, French artist. Her keywords are soil, fabric, drawing, oil paint, clay, old papers, and old portraits. The artist uses a variety of objects and resemble it through patchwork, a lot of media. So it become a new major. I think it's really fun and interesting. It's not just a painting, it's the installation. And she uses techniques such as cottage sewing, graffiti, and embroidery. The paintings are given new meaning and story. And I also used to my own work. I put my pictures I take and use a lot of real things put together to make a new image. And this is my work from 2018 to 2019, I put all elements together, photography and media. It also shows how I was influenced by Renate Bortman, her photography, her installation. The next one is Eddie G. Wang, an award-winning illustrator and gallery artist, known for her ever heartwarming, cheerful, and raw, unfiltered drawings. As we can see from his picture, we can see Alice's work is heavily inspired by the innocence of childhood and the colors and intricacies of nature. As we can see from this picture, we can see a lot of nature elements. I always feel happy when I see his picture. I like go hiking. I like to immerse myself into nature scenes. So her work is really helped a lot. This is my comic book in this year. I put a lot of nature elements in my pictures, and I use a lot of strong colors, make my work more vivid. Let's move on my own context. In this part, I will talk about religion and culture, because I'm really fascinating about religion things. And I will give my own questions. Is our destiny set in stone? Does God really exist? Can belief in God make people happy? And how these film, movie, books influence, in my opinion. Firstly, I'd like to talk about Ernst Ingmar Bergman's work. He's a Swedish film director, screenwriter, producer, and playwright. He considers Virgin Spring to be his best work. He always questions morals, vengeance, and religious beliefs. And the question of the existence of God has always been at the forefront of Bergman's early films, from The Seventh Seal to The Virgin Spring. And I live in a Christian family. My grandmother was a church lecturer, and almost all my relatives were Christian, but I was always skeptical and often wondered why God would allow suffering and tragedy in the world. Why would He allow good people to suffer and evil people to go free? This is a screenshot from the Virgin Spring movie Sleep. His two boys raped the girls, but at the end of the film, a clear stream of water slowly flows from beneath Karen. Karen's death is like that of Jesus. That spring comes out of the ground and he uses it to wash away evil. And her dad choosing to continue to believe in God and to build a church here. I wonder if this is really necessary. Will this clear spring wash away the sins of the people in the play? Next is Sidara. This is a book I recently read. Sidara, the protagonist of this book, often asks himself, is it really the Lord who created the world? Is it not the unique Atman? Atman is self. He thinks we should pursue our self-thinking, our self-need to enjoy life, not just to pursue God's thinking, God's lecture, how God's teach us. And Christianity defines life as suffering and asks people to return their faith no matter what happened. But can this suffering really and truly help us to overcome fear and death when faced with such a great blow? My quest will continue. And this is the picture I go to temple church. I want to find my own religion and I want to know how I believe. This is work I did in 2020 called 算命, Chinese fortune telling. The work shows how I treat religion at that time. At that time, I think religion is a soothing tooth. One pray for God. The moment I said it's a soothing process, so I made a toothing machine. When I got toothing eggs, I didn't know I will get word. All this process is a soothing process.
And finally, I want to say, as you can see from all of my works, it's full of strong colors and other medias like photography, installation, and collage. I think it's helped a lot to learn from other practitioners' artists' works.
And this is a bibliography. This is an artist's website and the book and movie information. My presentation is done. Thank you so much for watching.